Welcome to another episode of Engineering the Hard Problems, podcast for people who want to solve problems at scale. Today's podcast is all about the journey from strong products to a unified customer platform. My name is Shyam, a senior manager at Epsilon for the last 5 years. In my journey at Epsilon, I've seen the journey of products go from it's a massive transformation that has happened. We have moved from building strong products to a unified customer platform where we get the seamless experience that our brands ask for. And the way it has manifested at Epsilon is the concept of people cloud, which is like it's not just a stitching of platform multiple products together. It's more of how do we connect identity, how do we connect audience activations, the loyalty, all of these together. How does it give a seamless experience to our customers? And to unravel more about this, I have two critical leaders here with me, Soumya, Venugopal, and Arun. Welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself to our viewers, please?
I'm Soumya, Director, Platform Engineering, and I work on CDP and shared platform capabilities. So this includes areas like identity, observability, reliability, and cross-platform operations. So a big part of my role is to help the different product teams utilize the shared capabilities and instead of every product team having to solve the same engineering problems all over again.
So I'm Arun Rajaraman. I'm a senior director. I look after loyalty engineering and related experiences. Essentially help brands build unified customer engagement and also take this experience into the platform that we have, People Cloud platform, and the journeys that come out of the platform.
I should be thanking my creative team because they have given me the best of the both worlds. One from platform engineering, a leader from product engineering. It's going to give us a 360-degree view of how the things are happening under the hood. So let's get to the core problem, right? So today, our customers don't need to know whether this feature belongs to loyalty or does it belong to the audience activation. They just want this connected experience where everything, whatever you do in one product should be reflecting as a context in another product. Everything needs to be connected, right? And that brings me to the first question to you, Arun. All of these products are successful by themselves. They have great success stories around them, right? What customer problem are we solving by bringing it all together?
So the problem is around fragmentation. So a brand might have a separate system for loyalty, separate for CDP, separate for their activation, separate for measurement. Now, all of these are disconnected systems. And if we have to join all of them together and give a unified experience, the customer has to do the extra work. And that's the problem that People Cloud tries to solve here. Okay, so imagine, let me take an example to explain this to you. So for example, if there is a important insight that you receive from a CDP system that about that customer needs to flow to the loyalty platform to take an action, generate a reward the customer or whatever, or drive a campaign decision, or use it for measurement. Now all of this is what the People Cloud stitches together for a unified experience so that the client doesn't have to take disjoint products and integrate them together. From an engineering perspective, it's about how do we have APIs, our event system, domain model, all of that needs to be stitched together so that we give a client a unified experience and it doesn't look like these products, disjoint products, are stitched together deliberately.
I think that's a fair point that you're making. So it's all about the unified platform experience. That actually brings the question to you, Soumya. So when we're talking about platform, can you shed more light on this platform? What actually happens here?
Right. So the shared platform layer is actually a unified, I would say a common foundation where all the product teams can actually utilize, right? So this actually helps the different product teams to focus on their customer workflows rather than building these shared platform capabilities, which includes areas like identity, data movement, deployment, observability, monitoring, and so on and so forth, right? And this is on multi-cloud where we are talking about AWS, Azure, and GCP, right? So when the platform is strong, the product teams can just build once and then leverage or inherit the enterprise grade capabilities that the platform offers. right? And but however, if the platform is weak, then every product team, it becomes a mini platform team by itself, and they need to kind of build their own deployment models, their own permission models, their own all the different capabilities all by themselves. So it results in a, a lot of inconsistency, and it takes more time to market, and it reduces the overall consistency across the products, right? So that is where I think the shared platform layer is very, very important.
And does it have advantages around data as well? Like,
Definitely. So if you, just to take an example, so if there are huge data loads which every product needs to do, which is actually a centralized data and which can be reused actually, so the platform layer is actually offering the ability to do that data load in a centralized place in a very, very fast way. And all the products, they just need to leverage this data which is stored in a centralized place and use it.
that's brilliant. I mean, so basically what you're telling me is the product teams just need to go on doing all their business outcomes, get their customer brands in for all the business outcomes that they need, and the platform is going to do all the heavy work, and the repeated complexity is absorbed by the platform. That actually brings to my third question. It's a question to both of you. So as the platform is coming into picture and the products are converging onto the platform, what is it that the products had to stop doing? And Soumya, at the same time, building platform is not easy, right? So what trade-offs the leadership had to take in terms of observability, reliability, shared responsibility? So why don't you guys shed some light on that?
So from a product perspective, it's when we are getting into the platform, it is not about making all products generic, right? So if you take the example of loyalty, it has got its own use cases where there are things like rewarding points, offers, member experience, partner integration, and all of this. Now, similarly for CDP, it has its own data and identity challenges. Clean room has its own privacy safe requirements. So every product has its own needs. When all of this converges into the platform, what we need to take into account is how do we bring all this together? Now, the together part is what we did was we chose not to build all platform capabilities within the product. So we didn't have separate API, separate event ingestion, separate auth mechanism, separate data flows. While if we chose to do that, it is going to give you speed, but a time will come when that speed is going to be disadvantageous to you because you won't be able to scale.
Yeah, so I think that the biggest trade-off is between short-term local speed versus long-term, platform leverage, right? So today, if you see, the standard telemetry is of utmost importance. So we look at error rates, saturation, data freshness, the product contexts put together, right? So when we look at any issues together today, when we will first look at whether that issue is specific to a given product, or if that issue has to be addressed at the shared platform layer it by itself, right? So if every product team chooses to solve the issues from their end, so this is going to result in, of course, it's going to be very fast, but it is going to result in duplicate capabilities, different deployment standards, different ways of, non-standard debugging techniques, and so on and so forth. So if we look at the trade-off, so we definitely want to make sure that the shared platform capabilities are leveraged by all the product teams.
So that actually brings me, so many things are happening under the hood, right? And how are you able to give your customers this seamless and they're not disrupted by any of these things? And how are you able to do this all under the hood?
So the essence here is to build capability by capability. Okay, so there are shared components and there are product specific workflows. So in the shared components, you take things like authentication, you take things like audience activation, event ingestion, data workflows, data movement, and all of that. Now you build those. Then the product, all products that we have in the People Cloud suite leverage these shared capabilities in their workflow, and that makes us engineer things faster. okay, because we are leveraging capabilities that is already there in the platform. Now, for a customer, what it means is we have to provide them phased rollouts, so they are able to adopt new features, and which does not disrupt their day-to-day operations, right? As they are taking on new features. Now, what does it mean to engineering? Engineering needs to look at not just my product as loyalty or a clean room or a CDP. We need to look at platform also in our roadmap and cater for both product and platform, because there are dependencies. Okay. Now, what also happens is when there is incident, now if people cloud suddenly becomes slow, it's going to take the whole system slow. There's going to be latency, and it's not going to be a great experience. Now, what does it mean in terms of investigation? Now, each product cannot investigate issues on their own. They need to partner with the platform team. So we should have shared reviews, planned rollouts that we have control on, and that way we ensure that everything is seamless.
Fair point. I think it makes sense, right? If it's done correctly, it's not something that the customer sees, but definitely they're gonna feel it, right? They did something in one product, they start seeing the effect of that in another product. That's something brilliant. Thank you. So that brings me to you, Soumya, the elephant in the room question, right? What's AI? I want to bring AI into this whole conversation, and where does it come into the platform? How deep is it, and where should we be careful around this as well?
Sure. So we have additionally built an enterprise agentic AI platform. So the agentic AI platform, it offers capabilities that different product teams can leverage. And this platform, the agentic AI platform is a centralized marketplace for governed AI capabilities with a clear sense of ownership, auditability, and needed guardrails. So this definitely reduces the time to market, and it improves the overall enterprise consistency. And of course, it also maintains the aspects like security, performance, cost, and responsible AI governance standards as well. So if any product like loyalty or clean room, right, they want to leverage some of the AI capabilities, they just need to integrate their AI agentic workflows with our agentic AI platform.
So in this, just to add, what we did about 6 months ago was we built our own agent for our loyalty offers and various other workflows. Now, in order to leverage the benefits of the platform and to piggyback on that benefit, we are now working on taking all our agentic workflows that we built onto the EAP platform and benefit from the platform's capability as well.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Products build something, it's not going out, it's still going into the platform. Platform builds something, both are using each other's features. That's brilliant, actually. So that brings me to the future. How is the future going to look like, Soumya? 12 to 24 months from here. Well, what are we looking at?
Yep. So I can see three big areas coming up. So one is deeper cloud parity automation, now that we are working on multi-cloud, AWS, GCP, and Azure. So definitely we need to maintain and ensure that all the aspects of deployment, performance, cost, they are all standardized across all the platforms with the operational patterns that we maintain. And the second is on to have a stronger data foundation. So with more and more customer expectations coming up, I think the more important part is to make how the customer expectations are how fast things will actually process. So for that, we need to look at areas like shared streaming, caching, data access patterns. So we need to strive and improve these to meet the customer expectations. And the third one is on how we can improve the platform intelligence. So how we can bring in more AI assisted engineering, how we can do anomaly detection and safer rollouts. So if the platform is intelligent enough to do this, definitely the product teams can continue to focus on the customer workflows and rely on the shared platform, right, to look at reliability and other aspects that they repeatedly need, right? So, so to sum up the whole thing, I think it's just not a technical side of things that we should be looking at. In fact, the platform itself needs to be treated as a product, right? So, which means that the platform itself should have a clear roadmap. It should have its own set of ownership, its own set of feedback loops that keep coming from product teams, right? So this is very, very crucial, and the fact that the platform should be looked as a product.
That's a very good line to catch up on, right?
Yeah.
The platform actually needs to be
Yep.
treated as a proper product, not like a background project.
Yes.
Make perfect sense. Final closing questions, right? So, what is it that one thing Epsilon should get it right to get this dream vision a successful venture? First.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Shyam, so the platform should be treated as a product, which means that it should have its own set of clear roadmap, SLOs, ownership, accountability, and proper feedback loops from the different product teams. So it should not be seen as something plumbing in the background.
So I think now that it's quite evident, what we need to do is we need to use platform and product engineering in the same conversation. Number one, it's a one platform story with 3 clouds so that we can deliver consistent capabilities to our clients. And that's what we need to probably work on. And keep that in mind.
I think that's a very good place to close. So basically what we understood is the 3 pillars, that's the product management, the product engineering, and the platform engineering needs to come together to get this aligned contextual experience that our brands are expecting from us. And that can work on multi-cloud and at multi-scale. And for people wondering as to what Epsilon is doing for solving these engineering capabilities, you know where to look at. So until the next time, until the next episode, happy coding. Thanks for your time.